Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Comic Realm with Tiffany. And of course, I'm your host, Tiffany. How are you guys doing? I hope you're all doing good. And this episode, we're going to be talking about a lot of cool comic shit. And of course, Captain Marvel. So stay tuned. What's up, everyone? Hope everyone's doing well. I'm doing well. I made a new logo for my show. I hope you guys all like it. Thank you, hooray for Jose, for creating my original logo. But I want a little something different. You know, something that looks more pop culture-ish. And also that comic book vibe. So I created this. Hope you all love it. I did a poll on it earlier on Instagram. A lot of you guys liked it, so thank you for giving me your opinions on it. So, this week, let's talk about, of course we're going to be talking about Captain Marvel. We're going to talk about the next six films, Marvel films that are coming up, because Endgame is not going to be our last. And of course, everyone knows we're going to have Spider-Man Far From Home coming up this year. Let's see. We're going to talk about Game of Thrones. We're going to talk about the Umbrella Academy. Some Disney rumors of Marvel Comics being shut down. What the hell? What's going on? What's up with that? We'll talk about that. And of course, I'm going to give you my Captain Marvel review. So let's go ahead and start with the breaking news. Alright, let's first start off with Umbrella Academy. I binge watched it once it first came out. Sorry for the late reviews. There's no excuse for it. I just got a little lazy here and there. But I'm also been typing up notes here and there on what I should bring to you guys for these shows. So I want to talk about Umbrella Academy. I love the series that Netflix brought to us. I loved it. It was entertaining. The soundtrack was amazing. Comparison with the comic book and Netflix, there's no comparison at all. I mean, you still get your main characters and stories and what each character does. But I wanted more of their background. I wanted to see them more in action as kids. I mean, you'll get maybe one scene where they, helped a bank robbery. But I wanted more because in the comic they show all these amazing savings in the city and fighting random monsters and whatnot, and it looked pretty awesome. But they pretty much centered Netflix series with all the whole the love and whatnot, and then you have the siblings because they're not they don't get along. They haven't seen each other for how many years since they left the home because they were tired of being superheroes and their father not giving them the attention or love that they wanted, but they only got the love from their robot mother. And you can only get so much from a robot, And they're trying to also figure out who killed their dad. And, a lot of shit happens. A lot of, sibling fighting and whatnot, which is amazing. But it was pretty crazy. I mean, I love the story and everything, but I just didn't care for the love story for it. It's I was getting a little annoyed by it. But all in all, it was great. I just wish that they showed more of them growing up. I mean, it was always back and forth, with what happened between the relationships as growing up as kids and how they kind of grew up within the household, but not much as them fighting out into the world. And I wish they could bring that more, but hopefully when they or I hope they get a season 2 that they'll show more of that. Because it left off on a cliffhanger, so it wasn't finished, and they're also connecting the first volume and the second volume all into one in this series, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And why is my Siri's telling me hi? But anyways, Siri, I do not want to talk to you right now. But back to Umbrella Academy. I loved it. I love the characters. Spaceman's my favorite. I mean, it's sad, like, what happened to him, how he almost died. But his dad did, save him and injected him with some, ape stuff. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Did you guys enjoy it? I enjoyed it. And I hope they come out with a season 2. I mean, I know we're not getting that much comic books into Netflix because, Marvel is shutting that down. They took away Punisher. They took away Jessica Jones and all the other Marvel shows like Daredevil, which I didn't care for Daredevil. But I hope they do continue with the Umbrella Academy with Jared Way. I mean, God, that soundtrack was pretty amazing. I even downloaded it into my Spotify and I play it like nonstop. Let's see. So yeah, but like some of it was predictable. I mean, with Vanya and her love, I mean, you could tell the guy was creepy, but she didn't see it because she didn't get much of like affection growing up. She was always, the one out of the loop of everything because her father says like she's not special, but really she was, and they had to like use rumor to forget what she could do with her abilities, and she had to take these pills that she thought she needed, but it was really like holding, her inner strength of what she can do. So that was pretty crazy. And I love number 5. That kid, Aiden Gallagher, did an amazing job playing like someone who's really like above his age. He did it really well. And I love Mary J. Blige as Cha-Cha. She was a pretty badass woman. But I enjoyed Umbrella Academy. I hope you guys did too, and I hope they bring it back again for season 2. Can't wait for that. Let's see what we have here. Oh, DC's come out with a trailer today. If you haven't seen it, it's DC's Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, bringing a crossover. I'm pretty excited for it. I'm definitely going to be showing my nephew and my brother this new cartoon movie because you know what? They're huge. Well, my brother's a huge Ninja Turtle fan, and my nephew, who's 2, I got him into Batman, so he's like super obsessed. So everything he owns is Batman, and I got him into like the Adam West, so he loves the theme song and he plays it over and over and over, and he runs around in a cape, and it's adorable, and he's awesome. But anyways, they're coming out with a movie, Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it's pretty awesome. So the Shredder comes into Gotham with the Foot Clan and starts invading, and of course the Turtles are trying to stop him, but Batman and Batgirl are like, who the hell are these guys, let's go get them. So Batman's fighting the Turtles. They don't know, they're on the same side, but during that time Shredder and the Foot Clan are teaming up with the villains of Gotham. So that's going to be pretty awesome. And they got the ooze canisters. So let's see what's going to happen later in that movie. So it looks pretty awesome. If you haven't seen it, look it up on YouTube. Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. And I'm excited for this crossover. I mean, the last crossover I saw with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was with the Power Rangers, and it was pretty awesome. And I've read some comics on IDW when Batman and the Turtles team up, so you need to read those as well. But I'm pretty excited for this, and the release date of Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will be May 31st, 2019. It's not yet rated, but it's rated by Freddie Williams II and James Tynion. Next on my list of comic book news, Suicide Squad 2. Now, we know that Will Smith has exited James Gunn's DC comic movie that's coming up due to scheduling conflicts, but it looks like someone else is stepping in and taking his place, which is Idris Elba. And, you know, he's not that bad of an actor, and I love him. And I think he's going to do a very well job on this part. And I'm very excited to see James Gunn's run on Suicide Squad because, the first movie was like whatever, and it reminded me of like a Hot Topic commercial or advertisement and whatnot. And I just didn't care for it. So I have a lot of faith with James Gunn, and it's going to totally turn like Warner Brothers movies. It's going to be a game changer, And I'm pretty excited for it. I mean, Marvel fucked up letting James Gunn go, but because we don't know what's happening with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So, I'm just glad that James Gunn is still working on comic movies. So, I'm excited and I can't wait. Next, 6 Marvel films after Avengers Endgame. Whew, thank God. Marvel is not done yet. So after Endgame, we do have Spider-Man Far From Home that's coming out in July. And then we're going to have Black Widow that's supposed to be released May 1st, 2020. We're not for sure yet because, there has been like the production hasn't started or something like that, they said. Because Avengers Endgame hasn't come out, so that could push the production to start, a little bit way back. So it may come out on May, but could come out later, 2020. Black Panther 2 is coming out February 12th, 2021. Doctor Strange number 2 is coming out May 2021. So we're getting 2 Marvel movies in the year 2021. And then they're also bringing out 2 news stories from the Marvel Universe. Eternals. You may heard some description here and there in the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. The Supreme Beings were introduced by Benicio del Toro, the Collector, during the events of, the first 2014 Guardians of the Galaxy. Man, it's been a long time. Seems like it just came out yesterday. But anyways, you do hear like a brief description of what the Collector the Collector talks about these Supreme Beings. So I'll be putting in like a little info card that I've been making on my Instagram about who are these Eternals, where they come from, what can they do, how many are there. I'll be filling you in on that. And then also lastly, Shang-Chi. I don't really know much of this guy, so I'll keep you posted on that. So those are the 6 Marvel films that are going to be coming out after Endgame. So this isn't the end of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yay! Next we have, I'm so excited because it has to do with Game of Thrones. And I'm such a huge fan, but also this has to do with beer. And I love beer. I mean, my resolution this year was to stop drinking beer. That's lasted for like 2 weeks and, I went back to drinking beer. Oh well, I just gotta start eating more healthy and start riding the bike again to get into shape, but I've been kind of lazy on that. But anyways, Game of Thrones is launching a beer before the final season. HBO has partnered with brewery Ommegang to craft a new co-fermentation beer for the final season this April. Co-fermentation. What the heck is that? Well, the beer is called For the Throne. It's going to be 9.5%. Strong golden ale co-fermented with Pinot Grigio and Viognier grape juices and bottled conditioned with champagne yeast. And it sounds amazing, so I better get my glass ready for that. I need to get a Game of Thrones glass. My mom has one. She has a wine glass that I got her for Christmas, and it says, I drink and I know things, because she loves Tyrion. That's like her favorite character, so I got that her for Christmas. So now I need a Game of Thrones cup, a mug, or a beer, beer mug or something. And yeah, I need to prepare for that. But I'm excited for the beer that's coming up for Game of Thrones, because they already have their launch with some wines, which I haven't tried. I'm not a huge wine drinker. I'll drink here and there, but I haven't found that one yet. And, sometimes they say it depends on what you drink on beer. And I drink more of, let's see, what do I drink? I drink a lot of wheat beer, Belgian beers. So those are like literally my go-tos. So I literally got to find like something that complements a wine that has a sort of same taste of my style. And I do love coffee like beer as well. So like those malty, whatever, yeah, that's me. So I gotta figure that out with the wines, because I do want to try the Game of Thrones wines. I see them here and there, but I'm really excited that they're launching a beer, because that's more up my alley. And I need to go buy a couple of these, before the final season starts. And I'm pretty excited. And did you know, like, the author who wrote this hasn't even finished the last book yet? He's still writing it now, typing it up in his little typewriter. So it's not even finished. So no one knows what's going to happen in the last season. It's pretty crazy. And I'm excited, and I'm also scared and frightened. Also, if you haven't seen, oh my god, I'm so excited. They released the trailer of The Dirt. I'm a huge Motley Crue fan. I'm excited for it. And it's going to be released on Netflix. But I'm pretty excited for it. And it's coming out at the end of this month, March 22nd. I've read this book, The Dirt, and it's been literally my Bible since like high school. And if you haven't read it, you must read it. It has so many epic ass stories. And I love it because each person tells their own perspective of the story. And they haven't talked to each other about one, so they just went ahead and just tell their own, and then they wrote it in, all together within chapters. And it's pretty amazing. And it's like, wow, how are they still alive? They've gone through so many fucked up shit in their lives, especially Vince Neil. And it's just like literally crazy. It's mind blowing, and you'll give so much respect for these guys. And like, how are they alive now today? I don't know. But check it out. The Dirt's coming out March 22nd, and I'm so excited. I mean, I used to go to high school with big glam rock hair, with Thunderbolt blush on the side of my cheekbones, and yeah, I was the real deal and shit like that. I was obsessed. I met them a couple of times. I met Vince Neil when they got their Hollywood star. I've met Nikki Sixx a couple of times as well. I cried. Like, I bawled like a baby when I met him. I've seen them like 3 times in concert, and it was freaking amazing. So I've seen them so many times. It's just like, oh my god. And I still get like, I have tears coming out every time I see them. But anyways, on to other news. Let's see. Charlize Theron is doing a comic book movie for Netflix. Oh my god. The studio is now turning to and adapt the Image comic series, The Old Guard, into a feature film. So that's going to be pretty interesting. I love Charlize Theron. She's a really good character actor. She could be a badass woman. She could be vulnerable. She did Aeon Flux, which I love, which was that cool animated series. She's done so many things that, she can't do no wrong. And I'm really excited for her upcoming comic book movie. Especially, I love how they're coming up with so many Netflix, movies, series, and whatnot, that we don't have to always go to the movie theater to watch these. I mean, Netflix is doing such an amazing job coming out with these movies as well. And I know they're coming out with this really I think they were called The Irishman or something like that. I saw in it was a commercial during the Academy Awards, and I think it was called The Irishman. But you're gonna have Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and all these people working together from these amazing movies that you love, but then Martin Scorsese is directing it. So I'm pretty excited for that. Just to see Al Pacino and Robert De Niro back together again is awesome. But anyways, back to the news. If you haven't heard, there was a rumor going around recently. Disney is shutting down Marvel Comics. I don't think so, and they shouldn't. How dare they? Especially after what happened. Poor Stan Lee, rest in peace. All this stupid. Who came up with this rumor? you are a terrible person. But anyways, it all started when Marvel Comics announcement of a panel at South by Southwest, which will have Marvel editor-in-chief CB Kibulski and chief creative officer Joe Quesada. If I'm butchering these names, I am so sorry. But they're hard to read. Anyways, the panel is titled Marvel From Comics to Screens. The panel will analyze how the comics acts as a pulse for the movies, games, TV shows, and that some fans are taking the Marvel Comics panel as a sign that the company could eventually close down, the longtime comics publisher. But thankfully, Joe Quesada tweeted, "Must be a slow news day. Ladies and gents, I give you the dumbest comics conspiracy of the week. Sometimes a panel is just a panel." Thank the Lord. I'd be so pissed. But like, it's also stupid why people would think that Disney would shut down Marvel Comics. I mean, they're still coming out with like comic books every week. I mean, I know it's been like a slow run. I've heard like Marvel Comics isn't doing so well, especially in sales right now. But, you know, but they're doing an amazing job with the movies, obviously. But it would be dumb for them to close down Marvel Comics. I mean, I hate talking about it. It's stupid. I mean, this was such a dumb rumor. This must have been the dumbest rumor ever made, but of course I'm covering it because maybe some of you think that rumor was true, but hopefully you didn't, and it's a lie. Let me see, what else do I have for news? Oh yeah, Captain Marvel. What'd you guys think? I enjoyed it. I loved it. I loved how she was so angsty. And yeah, she's confused and she doesn't know who she is. That's pretty scary because her mind, like, you know, something happened to her where she lost who she was and her memories. And it was kind of weird because I felt like when I first watched it and her and Dumbledore were like practice fighting because she now lives in the Kree. And he's been basically like telling her like not to use her abilities and to control it. And it was pretty lame. It's like, why can't she just use her abilities for anything? Why does she have to like, you know, fight you like normal? I mean, this is who she is now. She has these abilities. Why not use them? But whatever. Like later on in the movie, you find out why. But I thought it was an amazing job. I love the soundtrack. It brought me back to, you know, the simpler times of my life in the 90s. It would be awesome if they put on like some Spice Girls, but was Spice Girls during that time in 1995? I think so. But let me look up that. I'm sure. When did Spice Girls come out? Let's look that up right now. Spice Girls. I heard they're coming back, but they're only touring in Europe, which is stupid. They should come in America, too. They came out in 94. So they could have snuck in with some Spice Up Your Life or something. I don't know. But anyways, it's pretty awesome. The soundtrack was amazing. I loved it. I loved how, like, they, you know, reminisce with their past here and there. Like, she would just, like, you know, it was just like a little glance of her past. But anyways, so how it starts, she's, you know, training with Young Rog, Jude Law, and he's telling her to, you know, control your power and whatnot, and you need to, like, control your emotions as well. But, you know, as humans, we cannot do that. We use our emotions for everything, and she is human. But she doesn't know that she's really human because she doesn't remember until later she crashes onto Earth. So I love that she crashes into a Blockbuster, and I do miss Blockbuster. I wish we had video stores again, but we don't. I used to work at Hollywood Video when I was younger, and it was pretty awesome. I used to like just hang out in the candy closet and just eat all the candy. It was pretty awesome. And rent all the movies I wanted, even though I kept accumulating late fees, which was weird, but I never paid them. Shh. But anyways, and then you also see like a young Nick Fury, which is pretty funny. But anyways, she comes back down to Earth. Well, before that, the Skrulls are trying to dig into her mind and see what's going on, like trying to get some answers that we don't know what they're looking for. And they're pretty confused with her memories because they are they're really like storage in her brain, but she doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know anything of her past, so it's just coming like randomly. So she wakes up, she kicks ass, kicks the Skrull's butt, and then she escapes in the escape pod, and then like the escape pod just crumbles and deteriorates into the Earth's atmosphere, and she falls into the blockbuster. She comes out and she's all like, do you have any where can I find your communications, electronics and whatnot? And the security guard's all like, points to the Radio Shack, which we don't have a Radio Shack anymore. That's pretty crazy too. My God, everything's gone now. Anyways, yeah, because everything we have electronic is either Walmart, Target, Best Buy, Fry's Electronics. I don't know where else you can get stuff. Oh, Amazon, of course, or eBay. Everything's online now. But anyways, I rarely went into a Radio Shack anyways. It was so confusing and overpriced. But anyways, so she gets in contact with Jan, and later on you find out he's also like in contact with Ronan, so you're like, oh shit, that guy's a bad guy, so what's going on here? The Skrulls are bad, the Kree are bad, what's happening, So you have one of the Skrulls who's the leader named Talos. He's pretty awesome. You start to love him later on in the movie. Spoilers. There's going to be nothing but spoilers on this show. So anyways. So she runs into like Samuel L. Jackson and, young Nick Fury. And it's just pretty amazing who you see in this, who you run into in this movie, and it's just lovely. Oh, let me, before I forget, the intro to Marvel Studios, like the whole, Marvel Studios logo, they did an amazing tribute to Stan Lee, and they gave him so much respect. They showed all his cameos into not mirage, but a big old sequence of all his cameos that he did with Avengers, and I started kind of crying a bit, but it was amazing. It was not going to be your last seeing Stan Lee in the screen, because they also have a lot of footage backed up that you're going to be seeing Stan Lee's cameos in the future of Marvel films, which is awesome. But this one was pretty sad, so thank you, Stan Lee. And it was very emotional, and everyone clapped in the theater after that logo finished, and it was great. And it's he's still here with us, and I loved it. But anyways, let's go back. We meet up with young Nick Fury and young Agent Coulson, and I guess Agent Coulson is the newbie, so he's just got hired and he's learning all the tricks and whatnot, and the ropes of the being S.H.I.E.L.D. and it's pretty cute. But anyways, a Skrull who's in disguise. A Skrull they could pretty much turn into anybody. They can mimic your features and whatnot. So, Skrull finds Carol Danvers, tries to shoot her. They just chase through the city, and that whole train scene that you see in the trailer. And she runs into one of them, who she punches the old lady, and the passengers on the train are trying to hold Carol Danvers down, because they're oh my God, she's beating up an old woman. But the old woman's also kicking ass, and then she changes the Skrull goes into the middle of the train and changes his identity into somebody else, and then all of a sudden they're up above the train fighting and whatnot, and then a tunnel comes, so they have to go back into the train. And Carol Danvers runs into a lovely, lovely person that we all love. Of course, the infamous cameos of Stan Lee. But what I love about this cameo so much, he's on the train on his way probably to do Mallrats. Because you know what? He's reading a script that says Mallrats by Kevin Smith. And this shows that Kevin Smith is in the Marvel Universe. And Stan Lee is preparing for his scenes to be in this movie. And if you haven't seen Mallrats, oh my god. Because I've told like some of my friends that are not really into, like comic books or anything. But like some of them haven't really heard of Kevin Smith. They've probably heard of him because of the heart attack. But they only heard like so-and-so and whatnot, but they don't know like a lot of his old movies, which is pretty weird. I grew up watching these movies, so they're like, what the heck's Mallrats? I'm like, you gotta watch Mallrats. Like Kevin Smith idolizes, Stan Lee, and he does like all these cool little things in his movies that has to do like sometimes with comics and references and whatnot. So you must see Mallrats. It's an awesome movie. Hilarious and amazing. Let me know if you see the sailboat, okay? But, yeah, that was a pretty awesome cameo for Stan Lee. He's just playing himself, just regular Stan Lee, just preparing for, his scenes for Mallrats, which is pretty awesome. And it was like, I totally geeked out on that. I was like, no fucking way. I think I even blurted that out in the theater on accident, but I was super excited for that. And so, anyways, skip to pretty much what I thought entirely about like Captain Marvel was pretty amazing, and I was more excited for the cameo. But I know how like before this movie came out, Rotten Tomatoes put up a little review, like just giving like these like rating it so low. I don't see why this movie was rated low in the first place, but Rotten Tomatoes pretty much took that off and whatnot and started fresh on that shit, and it's doing really good. And it's pretty much breaking charts after charts of selling all these tickets and all these views. Let's see, but yeah, if you haven't seen it, go see it. Especially take your little girls. If you have like a sister, a mother, or a niece, or little cousin, go show her this movie. It's pretty awesome. It's very inspiring, especially like it's very empowering for women as well. I mean, I loved it. I loved how she's so angsty. She's very sarcastic, and I could really relate to that character as well, because she doesn't like, she's not like, oh my god, I'm a girl and whatnot. But like she takes so many falls, she takes so many punches, but she always gets up, and she does whatever she thinks like, is pretty much like she sees is right. She figures out who she really is, her true identity, and what's right, and what she was fighting for from the beginning. She kicks ass. She kicks Jude Law's ass. But it was pretty different with this story, because later on, like, the Skrulls are not the villains after all. They're the innocent, and the Kree are the ones that are the main villains. And it was a different change. I mean, you felt bad for these Skrulls. They were just trying to, find sanctuary, peace, and not like their whole species gone. And that's what the Kree was doing, is pretty much killing off every Skrull in the universe. So Captain Marvel later on just finds sanctuary for them, and it's kind of weird because a lot of Skrulls in comic books aren't so nice, and it makes it feel like, since the Skrulls know about Earth, I feel like this isn't going to be the last time we're going to see them. I think they're going to be coming back again sometime soon. Who knows? Because I feel like I feel since like there probably is Skrulls on Earth, in the Marvel universe, and they could be like trying to live a human life. Who knows what they're doing, good or bad and whatnot? But I do believe they're going to come back. This isn't the last we're not going to see them, I don't think. But anyways, back to the movie. I thought it was pretty awesome. I love how she's like, her life was so challenging since the beginning. She didn't really get along with her parents. She faced a lot of challenges that every girl does, you know. Girls can't do everything that boys can, but she did. She joined the army. It was during that time where women couldn't fly fighter jet planes and whatnot, but that's what she did anyways, but in a secret military thing that was happening. She kicked ass in it, she did what she did, and she fought for what she believed in. And I thought that was a great, a great message to give. And when I walked out of the theater, like, I was talking to my friend. I said, oh, that was a pretty awesome movie. And I remember my friend telling me, it's like, yeah, it was pretty good, but it could, like, I was like, how come, like, I think it would have been better with, like, a love story or something. I'm like, why would it need a love story? Why does every female lead movie needs a freaking love story tied into that? I mean, she did have, like, some kind of love. She had her best friend, and she had her, her niece that she loved also dearly, but she later, like, found out who these people were by them showing photographs, and they rebuilt their relationship again. But I don't feel like a female lead movie needs to have that love story crutch to make a female lead movie great. I don't think it needed a love story or anything like that. I think it did what it had to do. It broke the barrier on that, which I loved, because I feel like every, like, female lead role has to have a love story, and it's like, who cares? Not everyone has a love story, you know? I mean, they have, like, different stories. Well, this was great. You know, she found her true family. She found the people that she loved, her loved ones, and she fought for what she believed in and what was right. And she always kept, breaking her barriers, proving everyone wrong, which was great. And she always got up whenever she took a hard fall, which was pretty amazing. She didn't listen to people telling her that she couldn't do what she wanted to do because she was a girl. She did it all. She was a strong woman and a great leader. And I can't wait till what she brings for Avengers Endgame. And I love the message that they gave for Carol Danvers. And I'm not a huge cat person, but I did love Goose. Even though it was supposed to be like the original cat for Captain Marvel, his name was Chewie. But because of licensing with Disney and stuff, they already have products named Chewie, so they didn't want to double use that name, so they changed it into Goose, which is pretty funny because, Top Gun and Carol Danvers is in the military, flying these jet planes and whatnot. So that was cool because, it was like 80s, 90s references here and there. And for what they found out what that cat was, which was a flirkin, and like Nick Fury like was so in love with this cat and was doing all these little cat names and whatnot and talking to him like a little voice. It was just a funny little side to see Samuel L. Jackson and also like Nick Fury's serious eye go into that. But I loved it. And then when they find out he's a flirkin, which has these tentacles that come out of the mouth, and like the Skrulls are so afraid of it. It's like, dude, you should destroy it. It's a dangerous like animal. It's a dangerous species. And they're like, it's just a cat. But later on they find out who is Goose really is. And pretty much since Carol or Nick never really, just only saw it as a normal cat, and Nick giving it all like, his love for it, like it earned its trust, so it kept them safe. It was pretty awesome. And then like the last extra credit scene where he's throwing up the Tesseract, which was pretty funny. I knew that was gonna happen when it jumped onto the the desk, and then it was hilarious. But that was a cute and adorable cat, and I did like Goose / Chewie / Flurkin. But I did, since if you guys don't know, want to know more about what the heck a Flurkin is, you can go on my Instagram at comicsrealm_ with Comics Realm _W Tiffany TIFFANI, and I have a little like info of what the heck Goose / Chewie is. So you could go ahead and read up on that. And I loved it. I loved Captain Marvel. I asked for everyone's opinions about it on my Instagram, and everyone just hearted it. So I'm guessing you guys all feel the same way as I did. And I can't wait what she brings for Avengers Endgame. I'm excited for it. I can't wait that extra credit. Oh, before I forget, we all finally find out how Nick Fury lost his eye. Spoiler, it was Goose who scratched him in the eye, which is pretty funny. So I guess got that cat scratch fever, so he ended up losing his eye. And at the end of the movie, he's just like, Agent Coulson gives him like a box of eyeballs, glass eyeballs, so he could try out. But, later on, he doesn't use those eyeballs. He just wears the patch. But it's pretty funny. And I hope they do explain what happened later with Goose. Is he still roaming around the earth? Is he still alive? I mean, because he's not really a cat. He's an alien, so who knows how long they could, live. And plus, Flurkins lay about over 100 eggs, so there could have been, thousands of Flurkins lurking around the Marvel Universe, and we don't even know. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this review of Captain Marvel. I enjoyed the movie. I hope you guys did too, and I can't wait for Avengers Endgame. Oh, comic book reviews. Shall we get into it? Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Alright, let's get into some comic book reviews. Let's see, I picked up Doomsday Clock number 9. What can I say about it? Let me just tell you a little spoiler here from there, and you guys need to pick up these issues. They're freaking amazing. Anyways, let's just say everyone in the DC universe of superheroes goes and tries to find Mr. Manhattan and be like, what up, man? What the fuck is going on? We saw what you did with Superman. We're not liking that, and we're not taking your shit. Mr. Manhattan, boom, disintegrates them. Oh my god, this story was pretty intense. I don't know what's gonna happen in the next, but pretty much he cleans house with all the superheroes of DC, and let's see what happens with the villains. What's gonna happen? I mean, the only people are left is Wonder Woman, Batman. We don't know what's happening with Superman right now because he's on a hospital bed. So who knows? I also picked up. Sorry, my voice is really dry. All right. I also picked up Marvel number 1, Prisoner X. And let me just say, this is pretty unique and awesome. I think I'm going to be following this series because pretty much they're in these mutants are in a danger room prison, and a lot of them don't know who they really are. Their minds have been wiped. Some of them are having glances of who they are, and also some of them run into familiar faces, but they don't know why. So you have Bishop coming into this facility, and he keeps having flashes of the past, but he doesn't know what they all mean. So you run into Polaris, you run into Beast, you run into a lot of mutants from the X-Men University. And pretty much Beast is a big old chump in prison and just like beats up people. And he's not nice like he normally is. And he's also not that, intelligent that we all loved. The kind of person that we love and see. So pretty much at the end, they're pretty much like, fighting in prison. Bishop's trying to make friends and trying to connect all his why he's getting these flashes of memories and what do they all mean. Are they memories or he's just going crazy? Towards the end of this comic series, he gets a note from his cell saying the dream is real, the reality is false, get out. So what does that even mean? Are they just stuck? I mean, it's called a danger room prison. Are they literally stuck in the danger room? Where they go and train? What's going on? No one knows. So that's Marvel #1, Prisoner X. And is written by Vita Ayala, Jermaine Peralta, and Mike Spicer. Pick it up. I also picked up Meet the Skrulls. And I love my variant cover that I got. Because it's a cute little Skrull. That's Captain America, half Wolverine, half the Thing, half Spider-Man, half Iron Man, and I don't know who else he's also, but he's like pretty much every little cute little thing into one. And pretty much follows a Skrull family that's living on Earth, and it's pretty much trying to destroy every person that they meet. I mean, it's like a little family unit. So the kids are just pretty much trying to terrorize their classmates. But one little girl, she's not evil. She's pretty sensitive and not much of a bully. So that she has like these two girls like bullying her. And she doesn't want to live she doesn't want to like hate on people. She's just very innocent. And like her parents are kind of mad at that because if you like, if they lose their true identity, then they're screwed. I mean, she could get killed for it. So, the mom's working into the government, the father's working into like a science lab and whatnot. So they're pretty much trying to, destroy the government within and whatnot and the world, and also Tony Stark. So it's pretty awesome. It's pretty like dark. So you want to like know who the Skrulls are and what kind of people they are. Pick up Meet the Skrulls, #1 on Marvel. Just came out last week. These 3 came out last week. I've also read, for the upcoming that's coming out today, I read Buffy #3. Buffy, which is created by Joss Whedon. Buffy is pretty much, still kicking ass, trying to like get this giant bat back into its vase and whatnot, and this huge bat is like death to all vampires, so he's trying to attack all the vampires and kill them, but he's thinking like the innocent people that are lurking at night are vampires. So anyways, Buffy's still trying to please her boss, and she's also trying to have a normal life, and she wants to know like was the purpose of a Slayer, and like is she even like she needs help figuring this stuff out because it's really hard. I mean, she's only a teenager trying to figure out high school and being a Slayer at once, so you deal with that. And then she's also with her friends that she gets in like some trouble and her friends help her out, and she's like, wow, I never had true friends like that. I never had friends at all. So this is a new game for her, but she's very well appreciated. So that was Buffy #3 from Boom Studios. Go ahead and pick that up. It's a pretty good comic. There's a lot of like sarcastic jokes around here, and she has her own little Slayer vampire, which is pretty awesome because it's just a huge giant bat. And like it's like pretty much teaming up with her because she kind of punches him on accident. Well, she punches him because she thinks like it was just like a monster that's going to destroy everything. But it tells her Camazodes help Slayer always, And she's all like, your name is Camisotes? He's like, Camisotes' only purpose, protect, slay, or kill vampires. So she's like, oh, wow, you're like a Pegasus. It's all like, Pegasus? So she later finds out that big giant winged bat is like actually on her side and like, protects her as well. But they also have to put him back because he's also out of control. So that is Buffy number 3. I've read also Blackbird number 6, and you guys need to pick this up. It's amazing. The story is pretty crazy right now because she finds out her past. Apparently she died in the earthquake, and then her mom had to sacrifice her life to be, a paragon when she tried to escape that world. So she sacrificed herself to bring back her daughter, and she's kind of sacrificing her other daughter to save her favorite daughter. Pretty crazy. So a lot of shit happens, and they're telling her you can't be a paragon because something bad's gonna happen if she does. But she doesn't listen at the end, so she becomes a paragon, and she looks all pretty amazing with her white ass eyes and whatnot, her white glowing eyes, and the story's getting pretty intense. I mean, there's many great stories that Image has come out. You have Cyberforce number 9, you have Freeze number 4, and you have there's so many. It's just like so hard to keep up because I'm just trying to read as much as I can. But go ahead, pick those up. You have Murder Falcon and whatnot. You should also read. I mean, we're on chapter 6. We're on number 6, but it's still good. And we're also going to have, I haven't received it yet, but Hit Girl Season 2, issue number 2 is coming out also today. So go ahead and pick that up because it's Kevin Smith's run. First one was amazing, and I can't wait for the second one, so I'll be getting that soon as well. I'll be getting it the day of, which comes out today. Boom Studios, you can also pick up some Rocko's Modern Life Volume 2 if you really love the whole Nickelodeon series and want to get back onto that and relive your childhood. Go ahead and pick that up. If you're a huge wrestler fan, you can also pick up WWE Then Now Forever Volume 3, and this one has The Rock, you have Mr. Sacco, and you have Austin 316, and you have all these amazing favorite wrestlers, so you can go ahead and pick that up as well. You have Go-Go Power Rangers number 18, see what's up with that. I mean, that Power Rangers run is doing so well, the Go-Go Power Rangers and the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, so go ahead and pick that up. So that's all the comics that are coming out this week, and we also have some Valiant as well, so you can go ahead and pick up, let's see, you can pick up Punk Mamba number 1, Go Punk Yourself, looks pretty amazing. You also have Faith, Incursion, Livewire, and also, I believe, Bloodshot as well. Oh, and the Forgotten Queen as well, number 1 comes out today, so go ahead and pick that up as well. Other than that, in comic book news and reviews, that's all I have for this week's episode, so I hope you enjoy. Hope you guys stay tuned for the next episode, and then also be at the WonderCon at the end of the month, so hopefully I'll see you guys there. I've been trying to get some interviews prepared for that con, and I'm pretty excited for it, so stay tuned and keep up on my website, www.comicrealm.net, and also my Instagram, comicrealm_WTiffany, TIFFANI. And then also I have a Twitter, FallonJ13. You can find all of that on my website at www.comicrealm.net. And if you want to share your comments and views of what I've covered today, go right ahead. Message me, hit me up on Twitter. You can also leave notes on my website as well. And, give me your thoughts. Share me your comments. If you want to talk more about Captain Marvel, hit me up. I'll be glad to. So that's all I have for this week, and I hope you guys enjoy. So see you later.